Hello Cancer, this is your new moon reading. I am using my own tarot cards, my medieval oracle deck. The bad news is you have some of the worst cards that my deck has, many of them. The good news is it's still not a bad reading now. Let me get into it. We are starting a reading with the goblin, then comes the snake, both of them next to each other, not so nice, and even worse, we have the dungeon here. Then comes poison, thief, and the sun as the last card. That is so nice. And already when I pulled the first cards here, the first 5 cards, I already felt that this is not serious, even though superficially it looks serious. The goblin in my deck represents some kind of devil, some kind of evil force. The snake can, of course, come up in different ways, in good ways, and negative ways, in neutral ways. And next to the goblin, we would immediately assume, okay, that's a very negative combination, which it is. For many of you, I feel like those 2 cards together, they represent some inner kind of, not your inner evil self, that's not what I want to say. Some inner kind of, I don't know the English word for that. This inner voice that keeps telling us that we are untalented, lazy, we can do this, we can't do that. Also something, yes, that causes anxiety, that tells, some people become, is the English word hypochondriacs, sorry. You know what I mean? When some people start to imagine they have some very serious diseases and then they are very convinced they have it, they go to the doctor and the results are fine, and then they think that there's something wrong with the results. This is also a thing. Like this inner monster, this inner monster could even be the voice of someone who raised you. Someone who literally told you all these terrible things about yourself. Yeah, you are this, you are that, you are worthless, you can't do this, you can't do that, you are stupid, you are ugly, you will get all kinds of diseases when you are in my age. Like, someone in your family or, I don't know, someone around you when you were small could have told you all these things, and this mean voice has really deeply eaten its way into your mind. And I feel like there is a healing regarding this. We have the dungeon card here as well, which just confirms everything. Like, this felt like a prison. And it could be that on all levels, like in your job, in your friendships, in your romantic relationships, like everywhere you went, like this voice was constantly ruining everything and holding you back from trying things. Or if you tried new things, like somehow it didn't work out, or something bad happened in between, like it's a curse. I feel like there's a curse being lifted off of you that kept you stuck for so long on so many levels. So this is good news, even though the cards look like shit. But they aren't, and I felt that as soon as I pulled them, like, no worries, there's nothing horrible here. There was something horrible, but there is an improvement. Come on, we even have the poison card here, but even the poison card can come up in a positive way. Of course, it's obvious here in combination with the goblin, snake, and dungeon, poison, like it's another confirmation of what I already talked about. Like someone gave you this verbal poison, it became a part of your deepest inner processes, mental processes, emotional processes. It even became your energy, and it sat inside of you deeply like a curse. This is poison. But poison, if it comes up in a good way, and it comes up in both ways in your reading, this poison can also represent some kind of antidote, some kind of medicine. I also feel like for some of you, this person that did all these things to you, like told you these things about yourself, could be an alcoholic. If they are still alive, I don't know. Could be someone who's still struggling with, alcohol. We have the Thief, another horrible card you don't want to have in your reading, but don't worry. Like the Thief, of course, it's obvious. It represents this person or these several people who treated you this way. And I'm getting a good vibe from this card as well. Like this person might even be such a coward that after you develop some kind of inner strength, what we will get into this later, we have the Sun here, they withdrew like horrible cowards. Like they were very big-mouthed as long as someone didn't fight back. But as soon as someone is showing their claws, they're off. It was just their mouth that was really big. Yet the Thief also represents you leaving something behind. In a good way. And in a negative way, it represents you carrying this huge burden constantly on your back. Like, wow, this was so burdening. Maybe you even were responsible for this person some kind of way, or you took responsibility for them, either metaphorically, like you took on their emotional and psychological issues and baggage, or even, physically, maybe, or financially you took care of them, or maybe you did a lot of work for them. I mean, it could even be older family members and you took care of them as they got old and had some kind of physical diseases. Maybe, I don't know, some people then they have to, bring them to the toilet, shower them, all this, some kind of physical burden to carry them around. Or, I mean, in the worst case, your children are this way. This is super terrible, but some people are in this situation that even if they really try to raise their children properly, I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't work. Sorry, I'm tired, I'm yawning. It's in the late evening, almost night here. So yeah, but of course, this burden will be taken away from you. You are leaving something behind. We have the Sun card here, and it's so obvious. Like it's transcending all of the other cards. The Sun in my deck is not only some gentle, positive, joyful, transcending, enlightening energy that brings positivity and relief and life. No, it is sharp as hell. It is super powerful. The Sun's core is so powerful. It brings out all these super sharp rays that look like swords that are piercing and powerful. And this card is so self-confident, self-fulfilled, so dominant. And this is your energy, and this is very good news. Like all of this is being seen through, healed, and released. It gets even better. We have the laurels here. Of course, obviously, the laurels represent success and victory. Then also we have the Moon card, so we have both the Sun and the Moon. This is some kind of completion, this is harmony, this is perfect partnership. In my deck, the Moon represents the divine feminine, the Sun, the divine masculine, perfect couple. So, even perfect family, the stars are like their children here. And this is so much harmony. This is gentle and powerful at the same time. Like this is so beautiful. And it's always a tricky thing. We can quickly be deceived by these official meanings of tarot cards. And if there's some negative card coming up, we could, start to worry. But we can't always see it like this. Reading is actually very positive. And I'm not just saying that to be polite. It is a positive reading. And, all these nasty energies will be worked through and released. The snake, of course, I just want to mention that here because I said earlier with the poison card, the poison can be some antidote, the poison can be some medicine, and the snake in my deck also in some cases stands for medicine and healing, also for some secret knowledge. So there's something that you're finding out, and this will be very, very healing to you as well. So I'm going to put this deck away and pull some of my health and lifestyle cards. And as I always say when I use this deck, of course it counts for all decks, for all tarot readings. Don't take anything too literally. It's just a tarot reading, especially when there are health regarding issues coming up. Do not rely on to these cards here. We have coffee and tea that were just falling out, so this is obvious. Maybe some of you, especially if you were stressed, didn't have enough sleep, and the next morning you need coffee to wake up. Maybe it's time for you to decrease your caffeine a little bit and exchange it with tea. It's very interesting that both of these cards just came out at once. Then we have cold, so I don't know, by this new moon, actually it's already the end of April, but here in Berlin it's probably still quite cold. So in other parts of the world it could also be this way. So just be careful with your clothing, make sure you're not catching a cold, and expecting spring to be warm very early, because it's not always the case, or if you go out late at night. So I'm going to pull some more cards for you. We have cardio. So this could just be a suggestion that this might be the right training for you at the moment, especially if you're freezing. As a warm-up, cardio is perfect. If you're doing a lot of strength training usually, maybe this is also a reminder that cardio might be better for you for a few days. Sometimes we overdo the strength training and the muscles need to relax a little bit. We have the virus card here that also just jumped out, so be careful, protect yourself. Drink tea, it's right below the tea card. Keep yourself warm. And one more, please. Fracture. Okay, don't panic when this card is coming up. Of course, this could be a warning, like not that you will definitely break your bones, but you know, depending on where you live, if it's still cold, maybe it's even still snowing, just be careful you're not slipping away on the ice. Or, you know, if there's something specific coming up for you, some kind of sports event, just be careful, be safe. Yeah, the fracture card could also just indicate that if you have a fracture currently, this could be a very good time for your healing. Okay, I want one more. Alcohol. Okay, we have caffeine and alcohol here. So maybe both of these things are a little bit too much at the moment, or have been too much in the past. So maybe it is a good time to decrease the consumption of coffee and alcohol. At the bottom of your deck we have gift. Maybe this is something that you will receive in the next time. Okay. So this was it so far. Thank you so much for watching.